coming on to talk about sports and more specifically MLB from CBS Sports. He covers the MLB, Danny the Eddie.
Somebody's going to beat the Cleveland Browns this year. Is it going to be another opponent, or is it going to be the Cleveland Browns? That's their storyline, and the season will answer that story.
Well, my prediction preseason, because we always have to do that at ESPN, give us your predictions, make us look like idiots, was Astros and Nationals, with the Astros winning. Given the fact that both those teams still look like they're in the mix for that eventuality, I'm going to stick with that, Astros and Nationals, with Astros winning.
Play action is going to take himself around the left big hole 40, 35, 30, cuts it upfield, spin move 20, action Jackson 10, and dancing into the end zone. Touchdown Ravens. Halftime launching it down the middle of the field, called at the 20, Sammy Watkins 10, walking into the end zone, and the Chiefs are going to be going to Miami. What's going on, Sportscaster, YouTube, and beyond? Thanks for watching this video. I'm Yosef Masinter, and I hope you're having a great day as I welcome you into episode 8 of the Ravens vs. Browns Week 14 Deep Dive, where I go through every play of that game, talk about what happened, why it happened, should it have happened, who messed up, who excelled, and a whole lot more. This was absolutely the best game of the regular season, and I think it was the best game of the playoffs as well. Playoff implications, stars making big-time plays making stars, and of course, a dramatic Hollywood ending. But before we get to the film, please check out my podcast, Sports with Yosef. It's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. That's Sports with Yosef. Check out the rest of this series, whether that be on Sportscaster or YouTube, as well as checking out the rest of my content on Sportscaster, sportscastr.com. My username, YosefM613. Check out all my articles for Tackler, Sportscaster News, Rocky and Mighty, and Flurry Sports, all right there for you. A lot of great content there, and I know it's a lot of stuff. It's hard to keep track of. I mean, honestly, I have a tough time keeping track of it all. Well, I made it easy for you by creating a website, yosefm613.com, yosefm613.com, where you can subscribe and get email updates every time I post new content. That's yosefm613.com, and you can subscribe right on the homepage. If you're on Twitter, I'd really appreciate it if you could give me a follow. My handle is, well, you guessed it, yosefm613. All right, Ravens in the middle of a drive after the Browns had to punt following a Ravens punt, following a Ravens touchdown, following a Browns touchdown. Well, it was an 11-yard run by J.K. Dobbins, 4-yard run by Gus Edwards, and the Ravens are driving ball on their own 35, facing a second down and 6, and let's get to that. All right, here we go with the second down and 6. As you can see, the clock, or it's going to be when the play starts, it'll be 11:09 to go in the first half. Jackson pistol wing. Play action to Dobbins. Looking. Look at the time he has. And now he's going to take off, run, and just dive down at the 45-yard line. A pickup of 10 yards. Sheldrick Redwine there to escort him to the turf. Let's take a look at this pocket as we take a look at this play from a bit of a different angle. 1, 2, 3, 4, nothing. And now I'm going to run, says Lamar Jackson, taking it for 10 and a first down. All right. We talked about some of these formational stuff. We'll go through it again here. Jackson, there's room between him and the center. There's a back behind him. Pistol. He's got a guy to his right. I call that the pistol wing. Tight end on the right side. So pistol wing lined up, and this is his. Let me erase this. This is the strong side, and this is the weak side. So, now that that's taken care of, the Ravens in 21 personnel, 2 running backs. It's Patrick Ricard right there, Dobbins and Ricard, tight end, Tomlinson, and 2 receivers. And the Browns are in their base defense. So, we got some, wouldn't be a Ravens play without pre-snap motion. So Tomlinson coming across the formation. No one follows him. So, that's an indicator. We got zone coverage here. So we got a couple of substitutions in here. Looks like looks like Carl Joseph is taking a breather. So they've got Sendejo back at safety. Mitchell, Kevin Johnson, and Redwine are the 4 cornerbacks for the Browns defense. And let's just take a look at his pass concept, because Lamar Jackson's got a lot of time to try to find a receiver. Who gets open? This is really pretty much a 3-man route. Hollywood, he's kind of open right here, but Lamar's not looking at him. Right now he's looking at Boykin, who is not looking towards Lamar. So he's going to check off of... Hold on. So watch Lamar's eyes. He's going to look first at Boykin. Boykin's going to be the one. He's now takes a quick look at Tomlinson. What he's looking for is... This is just the basic wheel route. Or not... I always forget the name of this route. It's not a wheel route. Wheel route would be like this. It's not a wheel route. But he's just going to go to the flat and then try to get down the field. He's looking Taki over here is deeper than Tomlinson, so he's not going to be going there. And Boykin's just getting down the field, and looks like he got a bit of an over there by Hollywood Brown. So he checks through those 2 options, and then he's done. It's a lot of time in the pocket to only go through 2 options. What am I missing here? Let's take a look from the single. Yeah, and there's a play action. So hold on. Here's what I'm missing. He's looking right. He's looking for... I think he's initially... he's never looked at Hollywood. I'm sorry, I just don't get this. It's a lot of time in the pocket. Look how long he's going to spend on Boykin, waiting for Boykin to look. At this point, he realizes that he's no longer open. I mean, Miles Boykin. A lot of people wanting him to take a bigger role in this offense. Other people are saying, look, he's just not done anything in the opportunities he's been given. And this is one play where, like, he's wide open. Lamar's looking at him. He's waiting for the Boykin to get open, waiting for him to just look at him. But he doesn't. And the funny part is, Lamar should know that this is a deep route. So either it's a deep route with an option to come back over the middle, which is very conceivable, or an option maybe for a post. See that? And he's waiting for Boykin to make his cut somewhere. And Boykin never does it because they read the defense differently. Or Lamar's just not thinking about how long he's looking at Boykin, because he looks at Boykin until... But if it's a deep ball, you're not going to throw the ball until Boykin's like over there. So I mean, that's just interesting right off the bat. Okay. So then let's take a look now at the pocket after we look at the receivers. I mean, if you take a look, J.K. Dobbins waits a second and then escapes to the flat. Looks like Patrick Ricard stays into block. I mean, Dobbins has a little bit of room in the flat there if Lamar wants to go there. Right here, look at Hollywood Brown. He's open on the scramble drill. It's a good job by Hollywood. Lamar puts the ball right there. I don't know. It'd be maybe a little bit closer. Probably right there on that first X, because I don't love this. I don't love this defender being right there. So you throw it right. You don't lead Hollywood, but you put him. You put it right on his body. You have that option. Lamar's saying, "Thank you very much. I'll take it myself." Let's take a look at this pocket here. Ravens do a phenomenal job. So Browns show blitz off the edge with Sione Takitaki. Do not bring it. Orlando Brown looks right now, comes back left for Olivier Vernon. And the funny thing is Vernon thinks it's a run. So Vernon is coming towards the middle here. In reality, if he had just gone around the edge, he would have gone Lamar Jackson and forced Lamar out of the pocket well earlier. He doesn't. Orlando Brown then handles Vernon. Ricard helps out. Myles Garrett, DJ Fluker on the right side. And Fluker is just going to school Garrett. Look how far he pushes him out. Look at this hole that it opens up for Lamar Jackson. And then they're going to double team Ben Powers and Patrick McCarty are going to double team. Who is that? Sheldon Richardson, Elario Ogunjobi versus Bradley Bozeman. Ravens just do a solid job on the line. I do think that Olivier Vernon, he was thinking run. He was crashing inside, because he knew Taki Taki was over here. So if it's a zone read, it's fine. He can go in and Taki Taki will come down, albeit Tomlinson was there to block, or you have linebacker coming down, whatever it is. The issue was it's a pass play, and if he goes around, that this play would have ended up very different. Could have ended up very differently. So Lamar's waiting, sees the hole, lets Dobbins escape because Redwine right there. He just lets Redwine go out to the flat, and then Lamar's gonna just take off and run up the field, and then just dives down. Redwine touches him, so he'll get the credit for the tackle. But a pickup of 10 for Lamar Jackson, the Baltimore Ravens. Zone defense for the Browns. And Boykin needs to look, but let's watch this one more time. Passing opportunities were there. Lamar didn't look at Hollywood. Boykin didn't look at Lamar. And that is the issue. As we watch this 10-yard run one more time. And now the Ravens have the ball at their own 45, facing a first down and 10. Ravens try and take a deep shot on 2nd and 6. With Miles Boykin just running straight down the field against zone coverage. He's open. He got open at the very end, but against Andrew Sandejo. But it did not really matter. As we go to the next play, let's take a look. Jackson shotgun Dobbins to his left. Willie Snead comes across the formation. Snead will follow Dobbins will follow Snead, and Dobbins is going to push his way all the way out for a 13-yard run, had an 11-yard run to start this drive. Well, he'll knock off a 13-yard carry there. Carl Joseph there to help make a stop. Joseph back in after taking a breather on the last play. Watched the run from a bit of a different angle in that time. And let's break this play down. Ravens, 20 personnel and Skira. So they got 6 offensive linemen. The 6th offensive lineman, Matt Skira, is right over there. You got a fullback Ricard, running back Dobbins, Snead, and receiver. I don't know who the other receiver is from this angle. And the Browns count, Snead and Duvernay are the 2 receivers. Browns countering with their base defense. So Ravens, a lot of their runs, you got follow the pulling. You follow pullers, follow Snead, and Dobbins is going to just follow. Now, obviously, this is likely the zone read. We'll take a different look here. Let's take a look. Let's see. Is this a zone read or not? We talked about the zone read. Let's go to the whiteboard quickly just to go through it one more time. It's been a while since we've gone over it. Zone read. Oh, wrong. You know what? That's fine. So you've got a point of attack here. The quarterback is going to look. Well, he looks at him. If he crashes, if he comes in, quarterback runs out. And if he goes out, the quarterback's going to give the ball on a handoff up the middle. That's a basic concept of the zone read. This play, it's going to be the running back's going to go to the outside. It looks like if it is in reality the zone read. Let's figure that out, though. Lamar Jackson, who's he looking at? His eyes are at Sione Takitaki. Takitaki is out. He's got the ability to come down. Lamar sees that. He's going to give it to Dobbins. You got Bradley Bozeman pulling here. You've got Willie Snead pulling here. And I know I'm messing up color scheme just a little bit. And J.K. Dobbins is just going to follow his blocks. Which, take a look. Snead's going to go and block number 51, Mac Wilson. Bradley Bozeman charging up in the hole. He's going to go and block. No, Snead's actually going to go block someone else. Snead's going to go block the cornerback. He's going to block Kevin Johnson. Bozeman's going to block Mac Wilson. Wilson's going to end up shaking free. But much like the last play, J.K. Dobbins is just going to carry defenders. Just keeps his legs churning, keeps on moving. And what could have been just a, 7 or 8 yard play goes into a 13-yard play just because Dobbins does not give up. So Dobbins goes down in a crowd. Looks like you see Carl Joseph there at the bottom. Well, there's Mac. There's Phillips. I can't tell who the last guy is. That is number 65, Ogunjobi, who kind of gives up at the end. So, let's go through this a little bit more. So I do think this is probably a zone read. A little bit of the wider zone read option. Like I said on this play, it's there or there. Nothing up the middle. It looks like Taki is the guy Lamar's reading. Lamar makes the right read. Says, okay, I'm willing to hand it off to you. Patrick Ricard, look at this, getting into the second level, putting a block on Jacob Phillips. That's a big block. Let's watch this offensive line. Matt Skura versus Myles Garrett. Skura does a great job here. He funnels him inside. Now, with two guys coming across to block, like it's too late. Oh, is that a holding? Look at this arm right here by Matt Skura on Myles Garrett. Oh, it's tough to know it all when you hook someone if that's a hold or not, especially on film when you're not watching full speed. It's also not. It's not a bad camera view. It's just not the easiest camera view to work with. And then DJ Fluker and Ben Powers are going to double team Sheldon Richardson. That doesn't work well. Richardson's just going to spin off of it and get free. Still, you got to hope that the Ravens do better. I mean, you got to do a better job on a double team. If you're double teaming someone, he should not be getting free. Now you got Ogunjobi versus Matt Skura. Excuse me, versus Patrick McCartney over there. And good initial block. Then Ogunjobi gets free again. Look at that arm right there by McCartney. You're almost asking for I guess it's just not. You're not going to be calling that. I don't know the official holding call rules because it is somewhat umpire's discretion. There's no jersey tug, but when you've got an arm around someone, can get tough. Olivier Vernon versus Myles Garrett. Vernon immediately going inside, thinking it's a run. Versus Orlando Brown. Vernon versus Brown, and Brown holds him off. 8 yards after contact here for J.K. Dobbins. Very strong run. And let's watch it one more time. Coming in motion. Duvernay, look at him getting up the field here, trying to block. Mitchell keeps him out of the play again, using his body as a blocker. And let's watch. That's J.K. Dobbins 8 yards after contact because he's probably hit initially at the right there, 47 out to the 50. That's 3 yards. Another 4, 5, 8, 9, 10 yards, maybe 10 yards after contact, to be honest, of the 13-yard gain. Whole bunch of Browns try to bring him down and eventually do. It's not easy, though. And that will move the chains once again for the Ravens. Ravens doing it through the ground game only on this drive, although there was a passing play which Lamar ended up just taking off and running. And so that will put the Ravens in a first down and 10, and I thought I unpaused it, but I guess not. Dobbins is a deep back in the pistol. Jackson. Here's Ricard. Ricard will line up in this position a bunch of times, and then what he'll do is he'll normally come across the formation. 3 wide receivers set for the Ravens, so 20 personnel, and Brown's going with base defense, despite 3 wide receivers, which means you can have a safety on a wide receiver, something they seem very comfortable with, except for the fact it's zone coverage, so it doesn't really matter. And let's just watch the play. As Ricard, coming in motion. Here goes a handoff up the middle. Dobbins looks like he lost his footing. Let's take a look. Looks like Dobbins just lost his footing here. Jacob Phillips, number 50, is the guy who's going to be recorded for the tackle. Coming across. Yeah, he just lost his footing. We talked about the turf in earlier episodes, which if you've not checked out, you really should. And turf is a real issue on this play. Now under 10 minutes to go in the first half. Okay, so they've got the linebacker, Taki, right here, number 44. He's lined up on Sneed. Like I said, it's zone coverage, so it doesn't really matter. And they've got... Ooh, interestingly. Again, it's zone coverage, but they've got a safety. They've got a safety here. Anderson Dale lined up on Ricard. So a couple places you don't normally put a safety. Normally you put a linebacker on Ricard and a cornerback on Willie Sneed. But that's what they end up doing. All right, so Lamar, this is a zone read. So what they want, so what I'm seeing over and over here, like last play, it's a zone read. Again, Taki's the read. Taki's just staying right over here. He's not moving. What this does is it does take away the outside run from Lamar Jackson. That's not going to happen anymore. Doesn't happen. So because of that, the Ravens are going to be running up the middle, which is fine. Or last play was to the outside. This one's up the middle. It seems to me this is a strategy. Again, a lot of zone defense, keeping the look at the eyes. Look at the eyes of this defense. They're not watching players. They're watching Lamar Jackson. They're watching this exchange. Look at Sheldon Richardson. He's forced into the backfield. Olivier Vernon, he doesn't know where to go because this ball can be going in or out. But what this has been letting Olivier Vernon do is Olivier Vernon's able to crash in. Taki's got the responsibility for the outside. This is honestly a pretty strong way to go if you're... Excuse me, Taki is a linebacker. It's Taki, a linebacker lined up on Snead, and a safety lined up on Ricard. Again, so that... I should have remembered that. So... Lamar's looking at this right here. He's got Willie Snead versus a linebacker. I understand that it's zone coverage, but... Why is Lamar Jackson not audibling into a passing play? Because here's what I'm thinking right now. You audible into a quick passing play. It can be you can even go into an RPO option. You can go into RPO option. Just have Snead do something like this. Go over top a linebacker. Just beat this linebacker one-on-one. Bring this receiver in motion over here. Give Snead a one-on-one to work with and just get to the outside. Run a speed out. Run a comeback. There's a lot of things you could do to create, but you've got a couple of mismatches here. You've got Willie Snead against a linebacker. Why are you not trying to take advantage? And I think that's part of the next step for Lamar Jackson. It's being able to see coverage and say, okay, here's what I do to beat this. And this time, I get it. The running plays have been working really well for the Ravens so far in this game and throughout the Lamar Jackson era. But you've got a huge mismatch here. You have to be able to take advantage. And they don't on this play. So let's take a look on the line. Point of attack here. Again, Vernon moving inside. Orlando Brown goes to try to help double team Larry Ogunjobi along with Bradley Bozeman, but Vernon gets in the way of that. Actually, I'm going to digress here. I wouldn't be surprised if Orlando Brown's trying to get up there to block Jacob Phillips because he's unblocked. That would be my gut of what's meant to happen. Maybe not. I mean, you don't know. I mean, see, Ricard's there to block. Ricard's there in front to block Taki in case Lamar keeps it. Vernon, the Ravens don't really care about. They're going to let him go. I've got to think that Orlando Brown was trying to go and block Jacob Phillips because if you take a look at this, and I know Dobbins lost his footing here, but that's where this run's going. This run is going right up the gut, right at Jacob Phillips. Gotta think that that's where Orlando Brown's going, but Olivier Vernon delays him. So credit to Olivier Vernon for that. Sheldon Richardson, he's going against a double team he's going against one-on-one, excuse me. He's going against McCarty Raven, and you see McCarty's pushing him here to the right. Look at this angle that Richardson has. He doesn't care. McCarty doesn't care though, because when he does look at the hole, it's going to create right up the middle by pushing him to the outside. Then Ravens double teaming Ben Powers and DJ Fluker double teaming Myles Garrett, and then one of these guys is meant to get to the next level and block number 56 Malcolm Smith. But right here, watch Dobbins. He's going to go. He's going to cut, and he is just going to lose his footing. And still gets a yard. He'll be touched down by Jacob Phillips. Not really a tackle, but again, that's how it goes on the stat sheet. Again, Bozeman's not finishing his blocks right now, and I don't know if maybe Brown didn't help. But Ogunjobi getting away from Bradley Bozeman right there. And Miles Garrett gets injured on this play. An elbow, right elbow issue. Return is probable. So let's watch this one more time. Jackson in the pistol. Back behind him, Dobbins. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Ricard in motion. Zone read. It's going to go to Dobbins, who's going to lose his footing on what was an atrocious field in Cleveland. Really, player slipping throughout the entire game. Well, really lucky no one really got that injured off of it. I mean, someone does actually later on in the game. What am I saying? All right, Ricard in motion again. Big hole for Dobbins. He's got to beat Jacob Phillips, but he will slip first, and that will bring up 2nd down and 9 for the Baltimore Ravens. Jackson pistol, and now he's going to switch to the shotgun by having Dobbins move up. Brings Evan Duvernay in motion, number 13 from right to left. Jackson's going to look to throw, looking right to the swing pass, nothing there. Coming back over the middle, it's going to be caught Willie Snead. He's going to bang his way out to the 31-yard line before he's taken down by Jacob Phillips. So shifting from the pistol to the shotgun. Duvernay in motion, no one follows. It's zone coverage. Jackson's going to quickly look to the swing and then just going to go to Willie Snead. Let's take a look. What's the route concept here? It's zone. So this is honestly a pretty all right, right here. It's tough to know 100%. Ravens in the 11 personnel, 1 running back, 1 tight end. Mark Andrews the tight end, Dobbins the running back, and the Browns in a nickel defense. Let's switch to the pen marker. So you got to come back here again, just trying to sit in zone, a swing route, and something like that. And then I got to think it's probably or something like that for Hollywood Brown. This is, look, Duvernay comes in motion. Let's see, does Lamar audible here? He does. He moves Dobbins up. Then when he brings Duvernay in motion, he sees no one follows. So he's going to immediately look at J.K. Dobbins. Because sometimes you don't have him accounted for in this. You've got Willie Snead kind of in front to block. It's not a bad option. Here's the thing. Moving up looks like that's Kevin Johnson to take away that option on Dobbins. Dobbins would have for sure gotten out to, 43-yard line or something like that. Or 38, but Lamar's like, okay, I'm going to look away from you for a second, and maybe I'll come back to you. The next guy is going to look to Mark Andrews. Pretty solid coverage here by Jacob Phillips. Okay, am I getting this right? Did he look next? Because it makes more sense for him to look next at Snead. Yeah, he looks quickly at Andrews. He probably could have tried to fit that in. And then, so he goes from Andrews back to Snead. That's interesting because right here, if it's 1, 2, 3, normally you're going to go to Snead first and then Andrews just because you can work your way across the field. You work from right to left to right. Not in this situation, though. And then my gut would have been he's probably 4, or maybe he even goes back to Dobbins for 4. Got a couple of options there. But he goes to Willie Snead. And, he could have fitted into Mark Andrews. Look, right here. Andrews is open. You put the ball right over there. You get some yardage. But look how much more space Snead has because you've got another linebacker, Malcolm Smith, right there. Who's going to take up a little bit of space here. Here, Lamar's got a lot more room to work with Snead after the catch. So Lamar. Oh, you know what? That's right. So Lamar by looking wide right. Another part of this, just looking at my notes here, is he's looking off MJ Stewart. It's number 36. Stewart's going to go a little bit more to the right because that's where Lamar's initially looking. And that's going to also open this up a little bit for Willie Snead. So he tries to look off MJ Stewart. Stewart doesn't really bite, but he bites enough that Snead gets in front of him. MJ Stewart cannot let Willie Snead get this Open. Lamar's going to put it up there. Oh, look how close Stewart is. This is not a good throw by Lamar Jackson because where Lamar needs to put this ball, right there. Instead, he puts it right there. Stewart, he's going to come really close to getting the hand on this one. Look how close that is. Maybe, I think he actually did tip it a little bit. You see the little bobble by Snead there. Snead makes the catch. Turns upfield. Jacob Phillips is going to put on a hit, as will Carl Joseph, but Snead's going to use his momentum to fall forward to the 31-yard line. Okay, let's take a look. 5 yards after the catch there for Snead, let's take a look at the offensive line, the protection. Because this is actually pretty solid protection here, right here. Or at least initially. You got number 97, Porter Gustin on that right edge against DJ Fluker. And Gustin beats him initially, gets outside right here, but Fluker does a nice job moving his legs over, moving his base, and winning that battle. Ben Powers versus number 96, Vincent Taylor. Been a while since we've seen Taylor. This is just a straight bull rush, but Powers drops the anchor. Wow, I mean, just 72 right here. Drops the anchor right there, and there, bull rush is over. On the left side, here's where mayhem's going to start to ensue. You're going to have number 90 and 94. Let's pause this here. Number 90, Jordan Elliott, and number 94, Adrian Claiborne on that left side. And Mikari, he's just waiting for someone to come at him. Bozeman's dealing with Claiborne, but Orlando Brown's going to, Bozeman dealing with Elliott and Brown dealing with Claiborne. 78 versus 94. And Claiborne's just going to get by him. He's going to get in the way of Bozeman, which gets Elliott away from Bozeman. Mikari's then going to get onto Elliott. Look, and the issue. So let's just watch here. Look how high. Here's the reason. Here's one of the reasons I think that Brown loses on this play. Orlando Brown versus Claiborne. Look how high up he is. How high up Brown is. He's lower. Adrian Claiborne's much lower. Brown's got to get his pad level just a little bit lower. Look at DJ Fluker. Look how much his knees are bent. Mikari, Bozeman, their knees are bent more. Orlando's pretty much just standing up, bent over from the waist. That's just not going to do it on the offensive line. Just bad technique there by Orlando Brown. And so that lets Claiborne go. But Lamar hasn't. They give Lamar a nice pocket. He gets to go through 3 reads. And that's a lot for a quarterback in the NFL. And completes a pass for pickup of 10 yards. First completion of the drive for Lamar Jackson. First passing attempt of the drive for Lamar Jackson. Second passing play call of the drive for the Baltimore Ravens. Let's watch this one more time. So Lamar looking right. And going to his third route. Willie Snead banging through defenders. And one, and from this angle, moving the chains yet again for the Ravens, keeping a drive alive and now getting deep into Browns territory. Ravens now in field goal range at the 31-yard line. 8:35 to go in the first half. All right, Jackson pistol wing. Dobbins. Oh, now he's got a blocker to either side. Dobbins behind him. Jackson's going to take off. Run cuts outside 30. And he's going to get all the way down to the 11-yard line. A pickup of 20 yards for Lamar Jackson is scored out of bounds by Kevin Johnson. Look how many guys the Ravens got in the backfield here. And we'll talk about this one. Ravens going to the opposite side here of Sione Takitaki. First off, bringing a guy in motion. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. For a second, I thought the Browns had 12 on the field. They do not. All right, this looks like zone. So again, look right here. That's Sione Takitaki. Again, he's staying right here, taking away the outside run from Lamar Jackson. Well, the Ravens don't run a Sione Takitaki this time. They're going to run to the right side. And the Browns do not have this on the right side. This is the zone read. And he's reading here Porter Gustin, who is the edge on this play right here. Gustin crashes, Lamar goes. And at this point, it's Lamar Jackson in space. trying to make a play. You've got Tomlinson going out to block Kevin Johnson. You've got Ricard going up to block Malcolm Smith. Mark Andrews, he's going to go into that next level. His goal is to block Carl Joseph. He doesn't get there in time, though. He's got a long run. Because I'll be honest, if you take Carl Joseph out of the equation here, assuming Lamar, say Andrews was there in time, Lamar's gone. Absolutely gone. The issue is that Mark Andrews, it took him a little bit of time to get over. Just because he's got a longer run, and Joseph does a great job diagnosing the play immediately. So also, Malcolm Smith kind of gets in the way of the best angle. Mark Andrews has to cut instead of trying to go in front like this. He's got to go like this. And that does take just a little bit longer. So let's take a look more blocking on the offensive line here from the lineman here. Is Myles Garrett back in yet? He is not. Okay. So Bozeman and Brown quickly taking care of Claiborne. Then Brown getting to the next level to block Taki. Taki just runs right by him though. Now this is in the provision because from what it looks like, no, never mind. So it looks like they're just trying to block as many guys in the second level as possible. They don't. I mean, if Lamar had given it to Dobbins, look at the room Dobbins has up the middle to work with. The issue is Porter Gustin, number 97, who is right in the face up the middle. He probably would have gotten Dobbins. Makari versus, looks like, Sheldon Richardson. That's a very good job. Very good job. That's Vincent Taylor, excuse me. And then Ben Powers versus Jordan Elliott again. And they'll double team him, and then Fluker goes into the next level to block Jacob Phillips. This is just generally very good blocking. There's one miscue here. Two miscues. Number one is Sione Taki. Number two is Carl Joseph, because if they block Joseph, I'm telling you, Lamar's gone. Taki pretty much ends up being kind of irrelevant. And Lamar does his thing. We'll go to this view for this. He's going to cut outside, gets by a diving Joseph, and now he's just going up the sideline, being chased by Porter Gustin. It looks like Kevin Johnson there. Mark Andrews doesn't really do much of anything. After he misses his block, doesn't really know who to block. Thompson does a great job blocking initially, but Kevin Johnson's just going to turn around and get in the way here of Lamar Jackson. And Sione Taki did not, was right there for moral support for Kevin Johnson. Adrian, so quick look back here. So because Brown was not meant to try to help out with a quick chip on Claiborne likely, but I think Claiborne kind of ran his way into Brown, which is what kind of prevented Brown from getting to Taki. Look at this block by Ricard. Just takes Malcolm Smith out of the play. And after this play, the Ravens called a timeout. They were late getting to the line of scrimmage on the next play, so their first time out of the half. We talked about this though. The Ravens don't do a good job coming to the line of scrimmage between plays. They take a very long time, and it's definitely part of it. It's definitely an issue Ravens are going to have to address in 2021. But on this play, so they do call their first time out. I don't have the film of it, but John Harbaugh sprinting down the sideline right before the play clock expires on the next play. Ravens netted already after this 20-yard run, switching plays. And again, I don't know if that's an offensive coordinator thing. If they get the play too slow, if they break the huddle too slow, I just don't know, and I don't know if I have a way to figure it out without asking someone, without asking a player or coach who's on the sideline and could tell me. But there's something wrong, specifically in 2020. The Ravens just get very slow to come to the line of scrimmage. A lot of delay games, and when you're running, the other part is when you bring like 3 or 4 guys in motion on a play, you need time when you come to the line of scrimmage. You can't just assume you can go up there with 5 seconds on the play clock, because you've got to make a couple of adjustments there. at the line. You're going to be bringing guys in motion. You've got to let that stuff develop. And Ravens not doing that. Let's watch this 20-yard run one more time. As can just celebrate Lamar Jackson. Lamar just making big plays happen. Just Sendejo there as well to help push Lamar Jackson out of bounds. Again, zone coverage from the Browns. And they want as many eyes on Lamar Jackson as possible. The issue is you can have a whole bunch of eyes. It doesn't mean you're going to be able to take him down. Carl Joseph had a shot, unable to bring him in. And then I'll set up a first down and 10 in the red zone. Ball on the 11-yard line. So you can still get a first down if you're the Ravens. Patrick at the 1-yard line. Ricard's going to go in motion from the pistol wing into the left. Handoff. Edwards cuts back to the right, and he will dive in for the touchdown. His first rushing touchdown of the game. A great cutback. Had one earlier, I believe, on this drive. Yeah, on this drive, in the last video. As you can take another look at that Edwards touchdown. This is just alright. So zone read. Gustin's going to come in hard here. Normally that means Lamar Jackson's going to the outside. This is a play where you've got two options. Number one, Lamar Jackson made the wrong read. Or number two, it's a designed run. Why the Ravens would do a designed run, I'm not 100% sure. But it looks like that's what they do. Looks like that's what they do on this. Because, I mean, or Lamar makes the wrong read. It could happen. Lamar, I mean, I'd be shocked. I really would be. This is a read Lamar's made since high school. And I don't know. Everyone I've talked to about Lamar Jackson, who gets to watch him in person, has talked about his vision. He has phenomenal vision. And being able just to see the plays as they develop, it could be makes the wrong read here. But I don't think so. I think this is a designed run up the middle. Maybe this is just my faith in Lamar Jackson. I don't know. I do know that man, from a zone read perspective, I can only think of one play really, maybe two, where Lamar Jackson really makes the wrong read. Which is why I'm wondering if this is just a straight up handoff to Edwards. And the tough part is you really, there's no way to ever know because the Ravens design all their plays to really look the same. This could be the zone read. This could be a design handoff to Edwards. The play is meant to go. Here's what I can tell you. It's meant to go right there. It's meant to go up the middle. And obviously you can tell with Larry Ogunjobi busting through the middle. That's just not going to be happening here. Ravens in 20 personnel, so 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers. And let's just take a look. So you got Mekari pulling. Looks like Fluker is going to pull also. So Ravens got 2 guys pulling. All right, so look at this. 2 guys pulling. I don't know where the design run was specifically for Edwards, but if you've got 2 guys pulling, but there's no read to the outside here, makes it interesting. Ravens showing that there would be, and then just everyone saying, oh, follow the pullers. Well, not this time. As Ricard does a nice job on Olivier Vernon right here. Pushes him off the ball. Mekari coming across. He's going to take on Sione Takitaki. DJ Fluker's going to come off. Orlando Brown's just going to quick push on Ogunjobi and then get to the next level on Malcolm Smith. DJ Fluker's going to get there to help out as well. God, I think there's a little bit of miscommunication here because Lamar, you're not going to normally have. You're going to send two offensive linemen to one linebacker on the side of the play when nothing's happening. That's got to be miscommunication somewhere. Maybe one of them is meant to try to get up on Anderson. I don't know. Larry Ogunjobi here versus Bradley Bozeman, though, after the quick shove. He's going to try to fight his way free, and he pretty much does until Ben Powers backs into him. Now he fights his way free. Ben Powers not doing too great on this play. Walking against Sheldon Richardson. He does okay, but he does okay initially. Then Richardson and Ogunjobi are both going to break free. Here comes Olivia Vernon. At this point, though, it's just it's just going to be too late, because Edwards, what he sees is what Lamar Jackson either should have seen or what the Ravens just got lucked out that he saw, because he sees a massive hole right here. He's also got Hollywood Brown and Willie Snead blocking in front, and he's just got to beat Porter Gustin to the edge. He's probably got to beat this linebacker to the edge as well, and here it becomes just a leg race. He beats Gustin. He beats the linebacker. He's going to take a hit from Kevin Johnson, who is probably meant to be... look at Hollywood Brown blocking down the field. He says holds that block for a long time, but at the end, Hollywood, his back is to the play, so he doesn't really know where he needs to try to block him. It's very tough for receivers down the field to be able to know where to block him. You just got to be able... Because your goal is just to block, but you don't know where to block. That's really tough. But then, so Edwards takes a hit, but dives in for 6. Who's that linebacker? That's B.J. Goodson. God, maybe... I don't know. I'm just confused by the two guys blocking Sione Takitaki. That just, to me, makes no sense whatsoever. So, the other part is it's just a great cutback here by, regardless if it's designed zone read or not, it's a great cutback by Gus Edwards. Edwards, a guy who doesn't normally go outside, but he sees it on this time. So here's something watch Orlando Brown right here. Watch him and Bradley Bozeman. He just trips over Bozeman. Not a huge deal. You would think. Is that what caused? Yeah, that kind of messes Bozeman up just a little bit. Ogunjobi's pretty much already beat him by the time he's tripped. They kind of lets and then again, lucky there's no holding here. You got an arm wrapped around. I've got to think that there's, whether or not it's the right call, you're opening yourself up to a holding opportunity, because there are bad referees out there. There are bad calls every game on both sides of the ball, and I feel like you're just opening yourself up for an opportunity. Maybe I just don't know the rule well enough, though. Just a great cutback. Let's watch this one last time. The third rushing touchdown of the game combined, second by the Ravens. Lamar Jackson had the first up the middle. This one designed to go up the middle, but Gus Edwards saying, I see a lot more room to the right. Let's try that, and let's try a touchdown. Getting in for 6. Getting to celebrate with his teammates in the end zone. One more time. Ricard motion to the left. Oh, is that a holding on him? Where's my mouse? Watch Ricard quickly here on Olivier Vernon. Nope, no jersey tuck. Hands flat, and that's legal. And diving in for 6 is Gus Edwards. Let's take a look at this extra point. Sam Cook, and the punter, he's doing the holding job. Justin Tucker, the kicker, and Morgan Cox is the long snapper. Look at this left edge. Tavier Thomas all the way around. One more time versus Eric Tomlinson. He never sees him. You're meant to go to the inside guy first, so he does a good job. Does Tomlinson? He tries to do both, though. Look at this arm on each. Arm on both of those guys right there. The kick is good. And let's see if we got anything on the right edge. Again, weird seeing Calais Campbell and see 34 just going wide right, saying, okay, I'm going to play this safe. Maybe you're going to, for some reason, you're going to fake this. 8 plays, 80 yards. This will cap an 8-play, 80-yard drive. 4:41 off the clock. 7 rushes, 1 passing play. Lamar Jackson getting 30 yards on the ground. J.K. Dobbins, a nice job on the ground. A lot of just strong football by the Ravens on this drive. And taking their first lead of the game. Definitely the way you want to do it if you're the Ravens. You don't like playing from behind. Browns got the ball first. So touchdown, missed field goal, punt, and now the Ravens taking it in for their first lead of the game, up 14-7. with 7:49 to go in the first half. In this episode 8 of this Ravens Browns deep dive. Check out the next episode if you're watching a live stream. It will be out sometime, hopefully tomorrow. And if you are watching a replay, well, a decent chance it's out already, whether that be on Sportscaster or YouTube. Check out all my other content on Sportscaster, sportscastr.com, username YosefM613. Check out my podcast, Sports with Yosef, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcast. That's Sports with Yosef. Check out all of that there. Check out my articles, FlourishSportsTackler.com, Rocky and Meisty, Sportscaster News, a whole bunch of great sites. Make sure you check them out. And I know it's a lot of sites, a lot to keep track of. Well, I made it easy for you by creating a website. YosefM613.com, YOSEFM613.com. There you can subscribe and get email updates every time I post new content. Right there on the homepage. Really easy for you. So please take advantage of that opportunity and subscribe. And if you're on Twitter, please give me a follow. My handle is, well, you guessed it, YosefM613. All right, halfway through the second quarter in Cleveland, Ravens up 14-7. Ravens kicking off. Back to the Browns when we get back, episode 9. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.